This is the Night Owls Disc Golf Podcast. I'm Shane.
And I'm JP.
And this is a very contentious episode. We are going to discuss pop culture sub-2000s movies. And there has been some real drama going on with the discussion. And
it's so hard with
and
my
we're not
brain.
doing it. Yeah, we're not doing a collective list. We're doing our own list. So I asked JP to narrow it down to 10, and he's having a conniption.
It's just so hard because the 80s and 90s pretty much shaped my childhood.
Well,
and
it was our
just
childhood.
so many great movies. Well, even movies before that as well, but like specifically that time period. Mm-hmm. It's just like, good Lord.
And I made the mistake of saying a couple of my choices out loud.
I was so deep in thought.
Yeah. And the one he heard, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot that one.
Yeah.
So what we will do is give the movies. We do have some honorable mentions. We're trying to stay away from ones that we have already mentioned in our last list, because we've done this once before. So go back and listen if you want to. We don't number our episodes, but it was an episode about movies. And it was one of our Monday episodes.
Yep.
So we're going to do it again. So this is
Cinematic Adventure. That's the one.
Okay.
That's what it's called. It's called Cinematic Adventure.
So our movie list was called Cinematic Adventure. And I just want to say this is a post 2000 movie, but if you've ever watched Ready Player One, it's fantastic.
It's a good movie.
It gets a lot of hate. I read the book and watched the movie. It's awesome.
I didn't read the book. I had heard about it, but there's a lot of nostalgia in that movie.
Really? Because I didn't think the book's not that old, is it?
No, the book's not. But like a lot of the things you see in the movie,
exactly. Yeah, the pop culture relevance.
Trigger a lot of nostalgia.
And that's kind of why I brought Ready Player One up, because it kind of brought that into light, and that's kind of how we came up with the list idea. Was there was Ready Player One, and I was like, oh, what about Sub? Because it was all about pop culture.
Yeah,
all about pop culture. So if you haven't seen that book or read or seen the movie or read the book, go for it. And they have a Ready Player 2. Mm-hmm. A little goofy, but still good. Like, it's still on point with the storyline.
Okay, I haven't read that either. Are they setting it up as like a trilogy kind of situation?
It will be hard to set a trilogy. Well, yes and no.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I can't say it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's because it's like, I was
wondering if it was going to be like one of those Hunger Games situations.
No.
Okay.
No,
like where they're like, however many books or whatever.
It could go infinitely long, or that could be the end.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those endings. So
cliffhanger kind of deal.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
So, with that being said, do you want to start? Do we want to go 1-1? Or do we want to do...
Yeah, we can go 1-1.
Okay. I can't put mine in order.
I can't either.
There's no way I can choose one over the other.
Right,
it's like choosing my favorite kid. It's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can choose my favorite kid, but not my favorite movie out of this list.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. If you hear this, children, I love you both the same.
Try having 3. I can't say I love... Well, I can say I love all 3 of you the same. But
yeah. You have the same parental love, but there are some times where you might love someone more than the other.
Yeah.
I get it. I think that's fair. Because I think they can easily say, we had the conversation about who would you rather, like your mom or your dad. And they were easily like, mom. But if I want to wrestle, dad. I'm like, really? So you get to beat me up and you love her? Like, what's up? Okay, so movies. We'll go with my number one. Not number one. I'll go with my first choice.
Okay.
Big, Tom Hanks. Mentioned it once already, but I just wanted to throw it out there. Big with Tom Hanks. It's the first time I ever kind of discovered comedy and Hanks.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's it. I don't have much else to say about it.
Okay. My first movie that I'm choosing is Batman with Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the Penguin and Catwoman was...
That was Batman.
Oh, that was
Returns.
The second one, yeah.
Joker was Jack Nicholson.
Oh, yeah.
But Danny DeVito was the Penguin in Batman Returns, and Michelle Pfeiffer was the Catwoman.
Catwoman, yeah.
Yep. And Christopher Walken was in that movie as well. As he was like the big wig in the city. Shrek. I forgot what his name was. His last name was Max Shrek.
Yes, okay.
And so like he throws Selena Kyle out the window and all that.
All right. Little Monsters. That is Fred Savage and Howie Mandel. And funny movie because it was, I think, not in my life, what it was the first time I ever watched a scary movie. Because what it is it takes a real life encounter, or basically Fred Savage becomes friends with a real life monster under your bed.
Yeah.
So it's awesome.
Well, yeah, it was weird because like I remember him getting dragged under the bed down into like the monster world or whatever.
Right. And then there's I guess we're not spoiling anything if we talk about these movies. So I'm fine talking about them. Yeah. So spoiler alert, these are 22-year-old movies at least. Yeah. So Little Monsters. So Howie Mandel is the monster. Fred Savage is a kid. And Fred Savage traps Howie Mandel above the bed. Or outside from under the bed.
Yeah.
And he keeps him in the real world, and then he finds out that he hurts him by if the sun touches him, blah, blah, blah. So Fred Savage kind of makes friends with this guy and goes down into the monster world, and in turn potentially becomes a monster, starts forgetting about his parents, and that's how monsters become. Dang, that was your knuckle.
Yeah.
And that's how monsters become. Monsters under the bed is they're humans that were pulled into the monster world and become monsters because they forget about their parents and all that stuff. So that was kind of how that goes. And it's kind of like Howie Mandel's kind of a dick in it. Like he ends up being kind of a dick. Like
kind of
not intentionally, but kind of like ropes him in. Like, I want to be your best friend. And it's one of those like, what do they call that? Stockholmish type things.
Yeah, kind of.
So it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. There you go.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to go with Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Jessica.
Oh, boy. Got a thing for Red's heads, do you?
That one I do. She was my first toon crush.
Yeah.
Like, I've had plenty since then. Not currently. I want to say I'm not a weird guy. Yeah. Well, I am, but anyways, I'm not going to try to justify it.
A lot of anime in that.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't have like crushes on him. But she was like truly one of my first crushes. Like, oh my goodness, she's one of the most beautiful things in the world.
I was like, at one point, I was like, I can't believe my parents let me watch this when I was younger.
I know, please, Eddie.
Yeah, but it was the first movie, I think, to ever use live action and animation together, which was pretty awesome. And they got a ton of licenses to use like all the Warner Brother, like Bugs Bunny,
Acme, Roadrunner,
like all that stuff. It was just so crazy. And then,
and you go back and watch it now, and it's good.
Yeah, it still holds up. Yeah,
still
I think
holds
so.
up.
It's awesome.
Yep.
And Christopher Lloyd's in it, is the judge, and he's wacky, and he's
super wacky,
like Toon Squad or like the Weasels. Like
what were they called?
I forgot what they were called.
Yeah, but I thought it was awesome. And then who's the main character, the cop? Well, one of the main characters, that cop. What's his name?
His name's Eddie Valentine in the movie.
Yes, yeah.
I forgot. Bob Haskins plays him.
Yes. So Eddie Valentine, his dad was killed by a toon.
Yes.
And that he has this like hatred towards toons.
Right.
Completely hates him. But then he realized that it was a toon that killed his dad, but it was the judge.
Yeah.
It was
Right.
So, and what a creepy way to end too, how the judge died. Mm-hmm. So like.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. All right. I will go with Beetlejuice. One of the first movies where, in another scary movie, but I still remember when he's standing on the model, and like the model of the town,
yes,
and he kind of comes out of the grave or whatever, and then she's like, "What are the flashing lights at the end of this model?" And she walks over, and it's like a strip club basically, and Michael Keaton just plays that role so well.
Oh my God, it's so good.
It's amazing because he has that kind of creepy, like, I just awesome. Like,
One of those
loved
same
it.
things. Because it's just awesome. Because Gina Davis and
Winona Judd.
and then it's got I can't think of his name. Baldwin.
Oh, it's not Alec.
Alec, yeah,
it is
Alec
Okay.
Baldwin. And they go down into the afterworld, like underworld.
Is that Alec, the dad, or the
husband?
husband?
Yeah, that's him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, they go down in the underworld and they got the caseworker. They're like, don't ever say his name. And
Oh, that's right.
But, yeah.
Oh, and then they turn themselves into monsters where they like stretch their faces out
Yeah.
and he puts his eyes on his fingers. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that movie's awesome.
Yeah.
They're supposedly making a sequel.
Yeah. And I know Keaton, I know Winona, I know like all of those folks are supposed to still be in.
I think so. Yeah.
I wonder if Alec will, because he's a bit strung out now.
He's in some trouble for a movie that he recently
Really?
shot. Oh yeah, someone got killed on the set of his movie.
No.
Yeah, like he was an executive producer of a movie, and there's a prop gun that actually got loaded up with some live ammo or something,
dang.
and someone
Like a
died.
Russell Crowe moment, huh?
Yeah, kind of.
That's too bad. Or
Yeah.
Brandon Lee moment.
Brandon Lee moment. Yeah, on the Crow.
Yeah.
In the Crow. Yep.
Well, all right.
So one of those things.
So Beetlejuice.
Yep, I had that on my list, but I'm gonna go with another Tim Burton movie, Edward Scissorhands.
Another good one.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
And he's fairly relevant right now.
Ryder.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, very relevant right now. But
Have you been following that case at all?
a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Have you seen the Jason Momoa testimony yet?
It's not real.
Oh, that's not real?
No.
Okay. It is really
It's
good,
really
though.
funny though. Yeah.
I love yeah, okay.
Because it's like, oh, is this thing on or like whatever? He's like, oh, I didn't realize we were ready. Yeah, that's funny.
It's not a fish.
But I was reading comments on like TikTok or something that they said it wasn't real.
Yeah,
so.
okay.
But
That's
it's like
still
if
pretty
this was
cool, though.
real, it would be hilarious.
Yeah.
But still getting back to Edward Scissorhands. I just I like the characters that he comes up with and like the worlds that he creates.
Yes.
Like they're just so unique and yeah. And, well, coincidentally, 1, 2, 3 of his movies are on my list.
Oh, jeez. I don't know if I have one of them on.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, Beetlejuice, yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think I have another one. Huh. Well, anyways. All right. I'm going to go with one that kind of shaped my manhood, was Basic Instinct. So the reason why, it was a good movie, but Sharon Stone in it has a scene. It's in a very iconic scene, and it's made fun of in so many different movies.
Oh my God, yes it is.
But she does like the spreads her leg open and thing, and it was like you could see everything.
Yeah.
Everything, and it was in the movie back then. Like that was crazy to see that. And I remember it was in my life. It was so pivotal because I remember, I don't know if my brother was involved in this or not, but I remember my grandparents had a satellite dish, like the big one on top of the house that moves.
Were you trying to watch this movie and it was like in static and you're like, hey, one of those type of situations?
No, I remember having to try to figure out when, because my Nana, who kind of raised me, she stayed home.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out like when we could watch this thing. It was
okay.
one of those things.
Yeah.
And then finally we watched it, and it was like really awesome because you got to see a part that you never saw before being that young. But well, I guess I wasn't that young. I was like 6 or 7. I mean, that's pretty darn young to see those things. But it was also the fact that like it was that naughty thing to do,
Yeah.
Like, I'm sneaking around but yeah, so that was that. And then it just became such a pop culture reference because that was such a like no one believed that they did it.
Right.
And it stayed in the movie. They didn't cut it out. Like it made it to the final cut.
That movie's pretty crazy.
It's a crazy movie.
It is, yeah.
Crazy movie. And it's about basically the testimony of this lady that killed like her husband or something like
Ice
that.
pick, yeah.
Just crazy. But
Yeah.
good movie, but then that scene alone is just one of those scenes that is just like I don't know. I don't even know. I mean, I don't think there's a person in the world that doesn't know that scene,
I wouldn't
one of
think, yeah.
those. So,
Yeah.
all right.
All right. My next movie is Tombstone.
Ah, good one.
Yes. Yeah, it's one of those movies, like, I haven't watched it a lot recently, but when I do watch it, I thoroughly enjoy it. Like, the characters are really good. And, it's somewhat...
Oh, good old Val Kilmer.
Yeah, Val Kilmer, Kurt Russell, Sam Neill.
Sam Elliott.
Oh, maybe that. Yeah, that's what I'm
Sam
thinking.
Elliott,
Yeah. God, like, a lot of those characters, like, it's based on Wyatt Earp's life and everything, and maybe somewhat fictionalized, maybe
I shouldn't like, dramatized,
right? Like kind of like a historical fiction, perhaps. Right. But it's one of my favorite westerns ever.
So relevance to that movie for me is I had a shirt that I wore under my pads from the time I started playing football until I stopped playing football. Be your Huckleberry. That would have been better. But it was Here Lies Lester Moore, died from a 44 slug, no less, no more. And I had that shirt from the time I started playing football till the time I stopped playing football. And that was what I wore under my pads. It was nasty. Yeah. It was one of those pad shirts that, like, towards the senior year, I would put that pad shirt on because I'd wear it under the jersey before game day. It was just like a little superstition thing. And I'm not a superstitious dude, but I had that shirt. I still have the shirt. I had that shirt for so long. I would wear it and living in Florida, there's no such thing as not being moist.
Yeah.
Hope you like that word, moist. But there's no such thing as not being moist.
So much hate for that.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
Anyways, so there's no such thing as not being moist, but as soon as that shirt got moist, it would gag like a maggot. It was nasty. It was so bad. And props to the girlfriend that I had at the time. She was so good at it. Like, she never mentioned it once. And there's no way she didn't smell it.
Yeah.
And we, like...
True love.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. It was at least high school love, man, because that was a smell. So anyways, there you go. I will go with Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So just...
that's one of my all-time favorites.
Absolutely amazing movie. And I think there's so many... that is pop culture right there. Like, I think that is if there's a movie that goes in a dictionary next to pop culture, that's it.
I would put that movie and, like, Breakfast Club, like, pretty much like right next to each other.
Yeah, 16 Candles probably might fall into that range. Yep, I agree. All right.
The Ferrari.
Oh, I know. Poor thing went out the back window.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to reverse the odometer after putting so many miles on it. Back in the day, that's not... It could happen. That's how it used to work. But yeah, and then it gets knocked off the jack stands and off it goes. It's still Ben Stein, Bueller. And they made Ben Stein. That movie made Ben Stein.
Right.
Just fantastic.
Right. All right. My next movie is Ghostbusters.
Good choice. I almost put it on my list, but I knew you would have it.
Oh, yeah. I just remember watching that movie. Like, it's just Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and Slimer and the demon in the freezer, or the god in the freezer. Yeah. Zool. And I just remember the first time when they, I watched the movie quite a bit, and I've watched the new one quite a bit as well with the kids, and it's pretty good.
I haven't seen that. I want to see it.
Good.
So bad.
I think it's good. Like the first time of, like, seeing Echo 1 come out of the firehouse, like whipping around the corner and like going to the hotel and everything, and then trying to, catch the first ghost and everything. I love that.
I watched the one where it was the ladies.
Oh yeah. I watched that as well.
Wish I wouldn't have. It was so bad. It was such a letdown. And it's not because it was ladies, it was because it was a bad movie.
Yeah. It was poorly written.
Really poorly written. All right. I'm going to go... I got to jump to this one. Goonies.
Yeah.
Goonies and the Truffle Shuffle and Sloth and Hey You Guys and the Treasure Hunt. It was like National Treasure on steroids. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So, Blackbeard, right? That's who they were going after as treasure?
One-Eyed Willie.
One-Eyed Willie. That's what it was, yes. And that was Cameron... I can't think of his name. The main character in it. The younger boy. Anyways.
Sean Astin.
Was it Sean Astin?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was... Anyways.
But it had Josh Brolin. He was the older brother. Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Was yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corey Feldman, and then who was Truffle
Oh, I don't even remember.
or Chunk?
Chunk. Yeah, I don't
did the
remember what
Truffle
his
Shuffle.
name is.
Yeah, just awesome,
Yeah.
awesome movie, man. I just thought of another movie. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. My next movie is Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I got that one too.
Yeah, I mean, the CGI, the dinosaurs. I mean, what kid didn't love watching know, dinosaurs at a young age? And right around that time too, I was into Michael Crichton novels like Congo and
Congo was a
Andromeda
good movie too,
Strain.
by the way.
Yeah, Congo was a pretty good movie.
Yeah,
And so yeah, I was big into Jurassic Park, and the scope of the movie when it first came out, you're like, oh my god. Just amazing. And the CGI was good. Like, there's some good practical effects as well. But the story, just taken from the novel was really good.
yeah, yeah. And a question I have in that universe: why do people keep going to those parks? How many times have those parks people been killed and dinosaurs have broken out?
Right.
And
Yeah.
New York City got raided by them. I mean,
I know.
but yet they still let them do it, and people still go to them as amusement.
Right. And then they rebuilt it.
Yeah,
And now.
and then more people
dinosaur-
die.
Yeah.
Just incredible. I don't know if I would trust them. I don't know.
I'll probably see the third one. Like of the second trilogy now that's coming out.
Yeah, I want to see
Dominion.
it too.
I'll see it. Yeah.
I mean, really enjoy those movies. I think they're fantastic. So, all right, I'm gonna go with RoboCop.
Ooh.
Yeah, so RoboCop was just one that I remember thoroughly enjoying. I remember my dad loved the movie, brother loved the movie. It was like the manly movie,
Yeah.
And I remember watching it and these crazy drugs that they were peddling around,
Yes.
and the little kid, and
It was kind of like a dystopian kind of
exactly
thing. And
Yeah.
Murphy, did he get shot? I forgot what the deal was.
He got blown up
Yeah.
in one of the labs. He broke into one of the labs, those
That's what it
trailers,
was.
and then he got blown up,
Yep.
and they were able to save his brain and most of his body and stuff. But yeah, it was really good. And then they kind of played off a little bit about the malfunctioning, like how Murphy was special somehow.
Yep.
And then they played off to where the other guy, where it was just his brain and spinal column that got implanted into the other robot. And then Murphy takes him. Yeah, it was just awesome movie.
Was RoboCop 2 the one where they had the bigger
the bigger mech. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, because they used a criminal in that one.
Yes, that's right.
The guy that Murphy took out, if I remember rightly, right?
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. So there you go, RoboCop.
All right. My next movie is The Big Lebowski.
I was gonna put it on mine. Yep.
That is such a cult.
Oh yeah.
But also a cult movie and a nostalgic pop culture movie.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Come on, man. Is that the one with the Amish bowler too?
No, that is. Oh, what is that movie?
It's a similar movie though. I mean, it's kind of more plays.
That's with Bill Murray. That's Kingpin.
Kingpin. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that is Woody Harrelson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no, a ton of that movie, a ton of Big Lebowski takes place in a bowling alley.
Yes,
the
that's
movie is
okay.
essentially about them trying to bowl and get through it's a bowling movie with a subplot of them getting in trouble with Jackie Treehorn and
Yeah. Mafia ties and all that stuff.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just phenomenal. And Jeff
Bridges.
yeah, and John Goodman and Buscemi. Oh, it's so good.
It is. It is. Top Gun. And I think I just love the movie. It kind of Tom Cruise plays the man, and there's man's man, and that kind of I don't know, over the top, rebel of a jet fighter,
Right.
and some of the some of the stuff where he's telling the story about being inverted, and then doing that type of stuff where he's kind of trying to impress this girl and ends
Right.
up getting the girl, and then the really really the the beach volleyball scene that is absolutely unnecessary in that movie, but that's what those 80s movies did.
Right.
There was zero relevance to that other than just getting them half naked on the beach scene.
Yeah, I feel like they're trying to play up the competition between Iceman and Goose and Maverick, and Jester and all those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, but really a volleyball?
Yeah.
Beach volleyball game nonetheless. Yeah. So there you go. So Top Gun. And I'm excited to see Maverick. I'm hoping to really like that plays out, pans out to be something good.
I hope so too.
So, all right.
All right. And I'm going to say Fight Club.
Oh, good choice too. That was a mind bender to me.
Yeah.
The first time I watched it, crazy.
It is quite it's the twist is just like, oh, holy.
Yeah, wait.
Like throws you for a loop.
I got to watch this movie again now.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no way.
Yeah, right. This dude just wants to sell soap, like
exactly.
But no, it's crazy.
And then to figure out what the soap is made out of.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but that's like, the twist is just so good in that movie.
And then how like Brad Pitt plays in that movie is so great. And then when Edward Norton figures out Brad Pitt is really Edward Norton,
Tyler, and
like that all kinds of, man, it's awesome. It's so good.
It is so good.
All right, Wayne's World.
Ooh.
Party time, excellent. I did not know it was based out of Milwaukee until I moved to Milwaukee.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had zero clue, but loved that movie because I think it was that Comedy Central skit that they did. And that's where Wayne's World started. Was it Comedy? Saturday Night Live. Sorry, not Comedy Central. Saturday Night Live skit that they did. And it became kind of a regular segment.
Yeah.
And then it made the movie out of it. And they made 3 of them, I think.
At least 2.
I know for sure 2, because Cassandra had the big singing career on the second one. I remember that one. But yeah, I just loved it. And the gremlin they ran around with the
they'd be playing hockey out in the street. And
game on.
Yeah.
Game off. Just awesome. And then who was the girl that would always break stuff?
Oh.
She would, hi Wayne, hi Garth. And boom, like run into a car.
Yeah, she's on her bike.
Yeah. Or
neck brace and all that.
Where Garth did the Foxy.
Oh yeah,
and then he like runs into a pole. It was just like one of those just comedy greatness. And obviously Mike Myers is just brilliant.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
All right, there you go. I only have one more.
Well, you took my Goonies, so I'm gonna have to figure something else out real quick.
Oh, the struggle's real.
Okay, I'm gonna go with. This is one of my all-time guilty pleasures. Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah. Yes. I love, by the way, side note, I don't care if you're political or not political. I think it's really funny that they compare our current president to Weekend at Bernie's. It's one of the funniest things in the world. So anyways, back to it.
Yeah. I remember my parents, I don't remember, they rented it. I was like, when I was younger, I was like, I don't even know what the heck this movie is. And as I got a little older, I was like, this movie's hilarious.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
And how they turned it into at least one more movie. I think there was 2 more movies.
There was.
How did they do that?
I have no
Dude's
idea.
a dead body. And they've been stringing it along for weeks.
Yep.
It's awesome. It is awesome. But the guy who plays Bernie, how awesome is that guy?
Raul Julia.
Yeah, he just plays dead.
Yeah. Mr. Lomax.
Yeah, Lomax. That's what it was.
It's so funny because he gets thrown off of so many things. He's dragged behind a boat,
yeah,
throwing the party at his house when he's not alive.
Folded up in a lawn chair, or in a beach chair.
Yeah.
Oh man, so many good parts in that. All right, John Rambo,
Ooh.
man. First Blood.
Yeah.
Kind of that forgotten, played upon the forgotten Vietnam era, hero that comes back to normal life, doesn't know how to cope and adjust, blows up a bar, completely decimates a police force, and has arrows that have exploding tips that don't exist, just awesome stuff. I mean, like, there is no other, like, conglomeration of what a amazing, crazy war hero would be other than Rambo. Like, it's just awesome. Like, and completely, like, the amount of shots that are fired and the stuff that happens in there without having anybody but the local police department, involved. Like, come on. But it's awesome. It's still awesome. Oh, we have a bunch of other ones on our list.
Yeah.
So let's just do a quick cap. So I'll start with mine. Red Dawn with Patrick Swayze, the original.
Yeah.
Awesome movie. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Of course, the original. And of course, with Vanilla Ice. That was my first exposure to Vanilla Ice. When he's dancing up on the stage. American Pie was another one. And I think that was more, obviously, I was in high school when that movie came out, but I still really enjoyed it. Miss Doubtfire with Robin Williams.
Yes.
He got bumped because of the Goonies. I had to bump him for my top 10. Beverly Hills Cop with Eddie Murphy.
Yep, I got that on my list.
And that iconic that laugh he had in that movie. Just awesome. And then Airplane.
Yes.
Just those are the ones. So there are so many more. We had such a hard time. I could have added another 15 at least.
Easily.
At least.
Easily. Man. Yeah, I had I also had back to the Back to Future trilogy. I think I talked about that before. Caddyshack.
Oh man.
I had Beverly Hills Cop, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Terminator 2. I like that way more than
T-2000.
Yeah. The Rocketeer.
That is one I saw on your list, and I was like, that is an amazing movie.
Yeah.
One of the best movies ever.
It was kind of, in a way, is like one of the first. It was a comic at one point, or like a graphic novel. I was like, that's one of the first ever like graphic novel movies or like comic movies that there kind of was. Like it wasn't considered that, but like it was. Yeah, I mean,
it was. It was based on it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then I've mentioned it before, I think, but Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
and the Evil Dead.
Yep.
Evil Dead movies. Those are
Ash or Axel. What was it?
Ash.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, those are it. So pre-2000 movies.
There's just so many more. So many.
And depending on how I'm feeling, what mood I'm in, this list can change so easily. But a lot of these are just awesome. And we passed up like Gremlins, Howard the Duck. There's so many different movies out there that are just like super iconic, super awesome. And Die Hard didn't make the list.
Yeah, Die Hard.
There's so many different movies out there, but like I just wasn't feeling Die Hard.
Aliens.
Aliens, exactly. Predator.
Yeah.
I mean, you go on, and Commando with there's so many movies out there. But
Rocky didn't get mentioned.
Rocky, yes. Well, didn't I? Oh, I didn't put Rocky on here, but I was gonna put Rocky, but I was like, nah, he's got with Rambo. But you just go on and on with these movies, and I can remember because we had a one screen theater in the town that I lived in at the time, in Blythe, California. We had a one screen theater. That's all there was. So you would get a movie for 2 days, and then they move it to another movie.
Oh, okay.
And then, but big movies like Rambo, and I'm trying to think of some of the bigger ones that I was alive for when they came out, and I was like more conscious of, I guess. But they would stay in there for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Single screen. And we'd go watch them over and over again.
Sure.
Like Howard the Duck was one. I want to say because it was like 87 or 88.
Okay.
We watched it. I watched it probably 4 times in the theater because that was all that was in the theater. But it was like old school, like walk in, one counter, 2 sides. You'd walk upstairs and then walk down into the theater.
Crazy.
It was really cool.
Bailey's Harbor used to have a movie theater.
Really?
Yeah. So do you know where I think it was where the brewery is.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the DC, like the Eats place or whatever, and like those little cottages. There was like a corrugated steel like dome.
Oh, really?
Kind of thing. I forgot what it was originally, and they repurposed it as a movie theater.
Okay.
So I remember going to see, I think it was the first Mission Impossible movie there.
Really?
And so they had like one theater, one screen, and rows, and then they had a balcony, and the balcony seat had like a I think a love seat or like a couch up there or something, maybe a couple other seats. But yeah, I remember going to see a couple movies there, and then obviously we had the outdoor And then Sturgeon Bay has the Cinema 6. It used to be smaller.
Yeah.
And there, it used to be downtown where Third Avenue Playhouse was the Donna Theater.
Oh, okay.
And that had, I think, 2 screens at the time. And then next door, there was another theater that had another 2 screens.
Yeah, because I've always noticed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's interesting. Like, where the brick lot was a
Yeah.
move like that, or maybe like down another.
No, I think it was where brick lot was, because the next one is on deck.
Yeah.
And that used to be, anyways.
Anyways,
but
I
don't have that type
but
of
yeah, there was a couple, and then, so there's the 2 places with 2 screens each, and then they eventually built the multiplex.
Yeah, the Cinema 6, yeah. The multiplex, yeah. And that thing's getting a little tired.
It is.
It could be, but
it needs to be updated a bit.
But it's awesome because any of these new Marvel movies and stuff like that, there's no lines. Like, and the movies are maybe half full. You know, the theaters are usually half full, so it's pretty awesome living in a small town in that regard. So, all right. Any other honorable mentions that you want to throw out there before we hit the road?
Not off the top of my head right
All
now.
right. Well, hope you enjoyed this one. The last one got some pretty good reviews, but this one, I'm sure we just kind of threw some stuff together. But outside of that, if you have any questions, comments, or you want to leave some questions for us for the Wednesday for the Monday podcast, or even for the Friday podcast, hit us up, throw@doordisc.com, or you can hit us up on any of the social medias. And it's door_disc_golf, right? Yeah, on socials. And then we have the link tree. And then night_owls_pod. Any other socials you want to throw out there?
No, we're good.
All right, man. Peace out, and keep us up hard.